Something that I don't think you should have necessarily is a changing bag. Everybody's making a big deal out of it. I do have one because I love bags. But because I had so many bags for quite a few months actually, I used another bag that I had that was perfectly fine. And I will do a review on my changing bag, but you don't need it straight away. Just any bag where you can put stuff in there will be just fine, I'm sure. Then comes to feeding. This one is a bit of an outsider, but Soother or dummies, that is for me an essential, although my daughter actually didn't do it after month three. She was completely out of it. She was like, I would put it in her mouth and she would be like, what is that? I don't care for that. But from 0 to 3 months, it really was an essential, because as a newborn, they really have this sucking power in their jaws is surreal how strong it is, and they really feel the need to suck on something. And I would say that 90% of the babies are like that, if not more. So do have Soother for the beginning at least. That's my advice. If you're bottle feeding, obviously formula, a kettle would make your life a lot easier. And then I would say 10 to 16 bottles, you're gonna go through a lot of bottles. And washing them all the time, you would want to have a spare one clean on the side. You're gonna have a lot of bottles and a lot of washing up to do. So you need small ones for the beginning, big ones for later. Whether you decide to only use big bottles and not to have small bottles at the beginning is fine. I would recommend to have the size up for the nipple always handy, because after a while they just they just suck, and they don't feel comfortable with the size of the hole in the nipple anymore. So always have the size up handy. Of course, you need a special sponge, to clean the bottle and the nipple, and sterilizer, and bibs. I think that's pretty much it for bottle. For breastfeeding, my very first and very essential one is a nipple cream. It's gonna hurt and you're gonna want to have nipple cream. And my husband was the one to tell me, put it on. And, at the beginning I was a bit like, but it's not nice for her. She has it, on her mouth. So, obviously check that the nipple cream that you have is the one that you can keep on while she's breastfeeding, because for some of them you have to remove it all and then breastfeed her and then put it back again. And that is just a pain, a waste of time. That's actually going to hurt more to remove it. Buy the one that you can keep on when they're breastfeeding. Breast pads are an absolute essential. You're gonna have leakage overnight, during the day. At the beginning, you're gonna need breast pads. And another thing that was for me essential, a nursing pillow. I know a lot of women don't do, necessarily with it, but it was just so comfortable. It's like this C shape that you put around there, and you put the baby on the top. And you do need to find, how you feel comfortable with the baby in that. And I would maybe recommend to try with normal pillows. And then if you feel comfortable with all those pillows around you, buy that, because that was a godsend for me. Definitely. Nursing bras. If you don't have reinforced bras, that are just, flexible and that, I didn't find it that essential. Let's call it like that. Now for health, you will need a thermometer. You will need a nail clipper. You may need a hairbrush, but I don't think that helps. And you may want to see if your baby has a hair or not from the start, because some babies don't have hair for a year. And 2 things to have is Calpol, otherwise paracetamol, and ibuprofen. You will need it. You will use it. You may as well have it from the start. Not that you're gonna give it to your baby day one, but the day when you're gonna need it, you're gonna need it bad, and you're gonna be so happy to have had it. The next thing is transport. Obviously a car seat and a stroller. Whichever brand you buy, I'll recommend that you buy the same brand for the car seat and the stroller, and it has an option for you to take the car seat out of the car and clip it onto the stroller. That is essential for me as a comfort thing, because if you have to wait, if the baby falls asleep in the car going to the supermarket, for example, and you have to wake the baby up to put in a stroller, the baby is not going to be happy. And if the baby is not happy, you're not happy. So this is my recommendation. Some kind of baby seat, you know, or something you can put the baby on can be nice. But at the beginning, most babies just want to be in your arms. I wouldn't say that, you know, one of those sling thing is an essential. I thought it would be, and Chloe hated it. Absolutely hated it. So again, a lot of things, you know, you can buy, but a lot of things I would recommend to have your baby first and then see how it goes. Then we go to bath time. So obviously, you know, baby soap, baby shampoo. I recommend that you smell it first, because I didn't do bubble baths for Chloe. I just did, you know, clear water, and that product lasted me ages. I'm saying, like, it lasted me a year. Of course, it was a, you know, proper bottle, but it lasted me a year. So make sure you like the smell of it. The smell of your baby is really, really nice. So, you know, recommendation for you. And then I would say that no towel is required, no special baby towel. It is not a must. You can use any towel and your baby would be just fine, especially those hooded ones. Trust me, they're really cute, but they're not essential. So any towel will do fine. And then a baby bath, that is a hard one to recommend. I had one where I could lay her down like that, and you had, you know, little bits between her legs and that, and it wasn't just a bucket, because that thing holds the baby, and it can feel really awkward in the first instance to bath your baby. And actually, you know, if you feel nervous about it, I would say maybe go and watch some YouTube video about it. Not that you need to follow everything by the letter, but if you're really nervous about it, just have a look. And then for your baby bath, I would say something that really supports the baby, especially if you're going to be on your own for bath time. But anyways, a good thing to have. And it is hard to recommend one over another. And then for play, I'm afraid newborn babies don't play that much. I would say Rattle was the big hit with my daughter. And any kind of picture image, or you've got those books that do some noise because they've got some kind of foil in it or stuff like that. But that's about it. So this is my recommendation. This is what I think is essential to have